I remember the first time I saw Eli Roth's 2002 horror movie Cabin Fever. Now, Eli Roth is often given a lot of crap for being overly gory and not too genuine in his movies, and I'd be lying if I said Cabin Fever was the exception. However, I was ready to give it a shot and have some fun. About the plot, all I knew at the time was that it was sort of the familiar horror plot. A few young friends rent a cabin in the woods for a fun weekend, swimming and getting drunk. Wouldn't you know, not everything goes according to plan. They run across this homeless guy with a bloody face and red and bloody skin, and he eventually passes to them a repulsive, debilitating disease. The rest of the flick has us watching the vacationers as they one by one succumb to a gruesome death at the hands of the disease. The movie's pretty unique in that there's not really a killer or monster outside of this virus, and it remains the most important element to the plot. Now, when I first saw this movie, I was about 18 and just discovering horror movies. I wanted to watch it because people told me there was some kid in it who yelled pancakes a lot, sort of funny, goofy. And once I got over the really repulsive aspects of the movie, which includes melting skin, faces being eaten off, dog carcasses, and other fun stuff, I began to notice something sort of strange. Nobody in the movie actually lets the disease finish its cycle. That is, nobody in the movie who contracts the disease dies from the disease. What happens is, whenever somebody catches the disease, somebody reacts to it in a violent way that causes death. To give you an example, the first person in the group to get this disease is banned from the cabin by all the other friends, and she's made to sleep in this shack outside, where dogs eventually corner her and eat her face off. This kind of turn happens all throughout the movie. Somebody gets the disease, other people get paranoid and freak out thinking that they'll catch it, and they end up dying not through the disease, but through paranoia or some kind of neglect. After you realize this, you really stop and take a second look at the title, Cabin Fever. Really, all cabin fever is a psychological affliction, a state of paranoia brought on by extended periods of isolation. Eli Roth's clever wordplay here shows that he's really trying to tell us that hype, fear, paranoia, and ignorance are all just as dangerous as the forces of disease. The very idea of disease is what's dangerous in the movie, as it separates the group of friends into two very distinct groups, healthy and unhealthy, us and them. It's a sort of societal model for the way a large group of people react to disease. Those under some kind of affliction are seen as dangerous outcasts, detriments not only to the bodies of the individual, but to the bodies of society as a whole.